You guys asked for it, and we're gonna do it today. We are going to be rating all of the different grass pictures that you guys have sent to me and giving them a rating of F tier to S tier. Let's just get into this. This is gonna be interesting. So first, it looks like we have some Parque Fernando grass, and I am getting these all from the chat that I opened up in my Discord. So we will probably use this chat for other videos like this in the future, but we're gonna go through and find like all the different types of grass and rate them. This right here is definitely Parque Fernando grass, though. I recognize this anywhere. And I gotta say, it's some good looking grass. Now, we're not gonna rate the flowers that are with it, but this grass is pretty decent. It does look like it's starting to die off a little bit though, so that's definitely gonna knock its score a little bit. However, I do like what I'm seeing overall. I'm gonna say this is probably a B tier grass. This definitely looks like a B tier grass. Like, it's not the best, but it's also not bad. It's definitely not bad. So we're gonna give that one a B tier. Oh man, this one. That poor grass. Mississippi's grass just does not live up to the hype of the Parque Fernando grass, unfortunately. I mean, it's still not terrible. It's not the worst, but this is definitely miles below the one that we just looked at, and even the one that we just looked at wasn't amazing, so I'm gonna have to say this one right here is unfortunately probably a C tier. Maybe even teetering on an F tier, but I don't know. C, D, F. It could be any of those. I'm just gonna go with probably D. We'll do D tier for this one. This is a D tier grass here. And also, both of those were from Grass Mod, which is, I believe, Zyphon on YouTube. Let's keep looking and see if we can find anything else in here. Let's go ahead and check this one from one of my moderators, Caitlin. This right here, some very classic latent grass. We've all seen this. It's one of the first things you see when you jump into Call of the Wild. And I gotta say, it's different. It's definitely not like anything that we've rated so far, and probably one of the more unique. But can we even count this as grass? Because technically this is some type of other plant, like some type of weed or brush. I don't know if that can count as grass. We're gonna have to rate the grass that's around it. So I'm gonna have to say, unfortunately, this one's a D tier as well. It just it looks very dry. Probably has not been getting enough water, which is kind of weird because it's in the western states of the U.S., which typically have a lot of rain, and I would know, living in Oregon my entire life. So this grass isn't doing too good. This one is a D tier. Now here's something a little bit different. This is the first time that we have had a Medved grass, and I like that somebody decided to go check out a Medved for some grass pictures. Let's see what we can rate off of this. I mean, there's not really too much to go off of. It's covered in snow. We can't really even tell if it's healthy grass or if this grass is lacking in water or vitamins or whatever it may need. So I'm gonna have to say this one's probably an F tier. You can't even tell whether or not it's healthy grass, and being covered in snow, it's probably not that healthy. So yeah, this one's that's definitely an F tier. Unfortunately, it's an F tier. Also, since for some reason everybody that sees me for the first time seems to think I have a mullet. Clearly not a mullet. Alright, so here we got one by Mason Owens, and this is Yukon's grass. Unfortunately, it's not a super close-up image, but we kind of know the grass that we're talking about here. It's this red firegrass, I believe it's called. If I'm being honest, I don't even know if this can really be considered grass, but I'll let it slide just because Yukon grass is so beautiful, and technically I think this is called like firegrass or something like that, so I guess it technically falls into the category of it. And if we're just basing it off of its looks alone and whether or not it looks healthy, I'm gonna say this one is probably another B tier. It's good grass. This is really good grass. Not quite good enough to be S tier, but I think we can safely give this one an A. This one is from a Diamond Llama in your server, and this grass right here is some Hirschfelden grass from one of the fields. And I gotta say, It doesn't look very healthy. It looks like it's probably been already farmed. They probably already baled up as much hay as they could from this field, and this is just the remnants, so I'm gonna have to say probably an F tier. Unfortunately, this is F tier grass. It's not healthy. Looks like it's been killed off, harvested for all the animals, and left for the animals that want it, so yeah, it's an F tier. But this right here is some Silvridge Peaks grass, and I gotta say, Silvridge Peaks grass, it always looks super healthy. I've always thought it's some of the prettiest grass in the entire game. Part of the reasons why I really like this map is just the sheer beauty of it, and the grass is a big part of the beauty. This is our first S tier. I like it. It's a very beautiful grass. It looks super healthy. It's kind of mixed in with all these weeds, but you can see right down here, this grass is clearly very healthy grass. And now we've got some more grass by a Diamond Llama in your server. Now this is actually some really good looking Hirschfelden grass right here. I gotta say, this might be the best looking grass we've seen. This is probably the healthiest grass. It looks very good. I like this a lot. It's a little bit dark in the picture, but you can clearly tell this grass right here has not been grazed on yet. It's very healthy. It looks like it's probably got plenty of water and sunshine. I'd say this one is another S tier grass. This is our second S tier grass, and it's a beauty. And now we have another one by Mason Owens. This right here is some more Layton Lakes grass. Once again, another part of Layton where the grass is not very healthy, so I'd say this is a little bit better than the last one that we took a look at, but it's still not great, so I'm gonna have to say that this one is probably going to be a C tier. It's not the worst grass I've seen, but it's also definitely not at its fullest potential. To be honest, this might be in the fall time, which would kind of account for some of the browning on the grass. It's unfortunately dying off from the summer months and probably just trying to get to that recovery stage around springtime. Just trying to hang on, hoping that it can live to see another year. But yeah, this is some C tier grass. And now, we got another one of my favorite grasses in all of Call of the Wild. Tiawaroa's grass near the shoreline. Beautiful grass, super long and lush. You can tell that it's really enjoying the place that it just happened to get planted by the birds or whatever may have dropped those seeds there. That is some good looking grass. You can tell how like tall it's growing over here. Very, very healthy and happy grass. And with it being in New Zealand, you can tell that it gets a lot of water. It's definitely very healthy grass. Super well taken care of, if you can even call wild grass well taken care of. But you know what? It looks well taken care of, and that's good enough for me. S tier. Beautiful grass. And now we've got ourselves some grass from Float Goat, who is a longtime member of the channel. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is Tiawaroa's grass on top of one of the mountains. And though not quite as impressive as the last patch of Tiawaroa grass we saw, you can see that even on top of the mountains where it's typically very cold and snowy, the grass on Tiawaroa is still just absolutely beautiful and looks relatively healthy. There's a little bit dying in the middle, but to be honest, that could be even a different kind of grass that might not even go towards the score of this. I gotta say, overall, this grass right here is probably B tier. I mean, it's not nearly as good as the last Tiawaroa grass, so it's not going to get an S tier, but it's still good enough to where it's kind of towards the high end on rankings, so we're going to give it a B. And now we've got one from I Must Feel Good then. This right here is some Virhonga Savanna grass. We got to kind of look in the middle here to see the actual grass, but this is one of the few places in Virhonga where the grass actually doesn't look that dead or dry. This is actually some pretty good grass. You know, I gotta say, this is probably going to be either C or D, because it does still have a little bit of a green tinge to it, but it's starting to brown. You can tell it's in a little more green area of Virhonga. Definitely has some water near to keep it nice and semi-lush, but not perfectly lush. So we're gonna say this one's probably... We'll give it a C, because for Virhonga, this is really, really good. This is great for Virhonga, and I don't know why it was so difficult to get that sentence out, but you know what? It is what it is. Let's move on to the next one. And here we have the final grass of the day, once again, from Caitlin. This is Yukon grass, and this is some beautiful Yukon grass. Super lush and green. I gotta say, Out of all the grass we've seen today, this one is towards the top. It's definitely not number one. I think Tiawaroas is forever going to be the nicest looking grass. It's just so green and lush and healthy looking. But this grass is like a solid A tier, easily. Solid A tier, maybe teetering on S tier even, but I'd say this is definitely A tier grass, and I hope when I'm turning away like this, it doesn't actually like stop coming through the microphone. I didn't really think that through, and I've been doing it like the whole video, so let's hope that doesn't affect anything. But this is A tier grass, and that's going to do it for this video. Let me know if you guys want to see me do this in future videos as well with different things, like maybe a rock tier list or a tree tier list. Give me some suggestions down below, and thank you guys for watching. I will see you all in the next one. Peace!